All right, so we are back to another principle from How to Win Friends and Influence People, and today the principle is how to spur people on to success. And the basic point of this section is that more often than not, we hear criticism. More often than not, we will be criticized for the things that we don't do rather than the things that we do. And if you really want somebody to, if you really want to get the best out of somebody, what you got to do is you got to start telling them hey, you did a really good job here. Hey, I really love the way you did this. I really love this process that you did, and it was really efficient and it was really correct. And you know what? I want you to keep doing this because this is going to improve the quality of this and this and this and this. And it's why don't we choose to take this approach instead of criticizing people? Because the fact is, everybody wants to hear that compliment. Everybody wants to hear that they're doing a good job. Nobody wants to hear that they're not doing a good enough job. Everyone has their own stresses. Everyone has something else going on in their own life. And it's so easy to hear criticism and to take it to heart and to get all upset and to start giving a subpar effort because you're you know what? I tried really hard on this. I had this happening, and they still didn't care. So why am I going to give my best effort when, they're not going to appreciate me for this? But if you just show a little bit of gratitude, if you just show a little bit of appreciation, if you just show that hey, you're making some great progress, you're doing some great things, you're getting really good at this. When you first started, you didn't have this level of skill. When you show somebody, when you compliment them, when you give them a little bit of just happiness and gratitude, it's going to make a world of difference. And we live in a day and age where it's not just about your business dealings. It's not just about, relationships. It's about everything. The way you treat people is the way people are going to treat you. And if you're constantly criticizing people, if you're constantly telling people they could do better here, they could do this there, they could do this there, that is something that you're going to have to start changing. Because honestly, this is a problem I used to have with myself because I'm so hard on myself. I'm so critical on myself. I'm constantly analyzing myself and trying to find ways to, get every inch of that towel. I want to squeeze everything out of my life. And it's a constant battle of me fighting the weakness, me trying to get better, me trying to do this, me trying to do that. And I've oftentimes reflected this onto other people. I've oftentimes reflected this onto, people I've worked with for this channel, my friends, my relationships, my family. People around me are suffering in real time because I don't choose to appreciate the things that they're doing right. I don't take the time to tell them wow, mom, that food you cooked, that was amazing. You should keep cooking that meal because that was tremendous. You're telling me that's not going to make her day. You're telling me that's not going to make her happy. You're telling me that she's not going to cook that meal again and again and again to get that same response. It's all about reinforcing good behavior, and that's it. You don't even have to point out the bad behavior if you just constantly reinforce the good behavior. If you constantly say hey, you did a great job here, people are going to keep doing a great job for you. Nobody in their right mind is going to hear a compliment and then take their foot off the gas. In the right mind state, when you hear a genuine compliment, when somebody tells you you did a good job on a certain task, that's going to inspire you to do great things. Sometimes all you need is one compliment to spark that passion, to spark that dream, to be that needle mover, to be that thing that drives that person to great levels of success. Yet we don't do this. We don't take the time to say, you know what, you're a really good friend. Thanks for, picking me up while I had a flat tire. You know what, you're a really good friend. Thanks for picking up that meal when I left my car in the car. There's all these things that we can start doing that will show our appreciation for others and will reinforce this behavior and make people keep doing things, make people keep helping you, make them keep growing. And in the meantime, you can deepen your relationship with this other person. And it's something that I want you to start applying if you don't already do, because I myself am guilty of this. And I know I've read this book before, but going back through this chapter, it's really made me think. It's hey, in the times when I'm upset, in the times when something goes wrong, instead of focusing on the bad, instead of focusing on what went wrong, why don't I say hey, you know what, this didn't work, but that one thing you did, that was interesting. Maybe we should try it another way. Maybe we should, apply that same tactic to the next one and make sure everything else is ironed out. And I think this thing's gonna blow up. It's so easy for us to just pick the good out of the bad, yet we always focus on the bad, and we always, criticize others instead of bringing them up. And the only way to get the most out of somebody is to bring them up, is to compliment them, is to show them that they're doing a good job, show them that they're gonna get a reward eventually, show them that if they keep going on the same path, they're gonna be at a great level one day, and you believe in them, and you're just waiting to see how great they can become. So, I don't think I've talked enough about this book. I'm probably going to go through every single section of this book by some point, but if you haven't read it, I think it's a book that's going to benefit absolutely everybody. No matter where you are in life, you can pick something up from this book. Like, it's a tremendous read. It's really quick. It's really fun. It's really interesting. I'll leave a link in the description. Thank you so much for making it this far. I will catch you in the next one. Peace out, guys.